Aloha Headsets, what it do? It's your boy Frank and it's review time once again. In the world of video games, first-person shooters are a dime a dozen, and one must really shine to stick out amongst the masses. Enter Starblood Arena, the new first-person 6 Degrees of Freedom multiplayer shooter from White Moon Dreams and Sony Santa Monica Studios.
Space. Among the glittering stars and worlds, creatures across the galaxy all locked in an eternal struggle for survival, for domination, for love.
And the chance to kick the crap out of each other for cash and prizes. Welcome to Starblood Arena!
I first heard about Starblood Arena very early in the PSVR's lifespan and have been eagerly awaiting its arrival ever since. At first, I really didn't understand what I was looking at. I wasn't actually sure how I could enjoy or even pilot a ship in 360 degrees and was a little worried that that might hinder my enjoyment of the end product. Little did I know that after getting my hands on a full game and playing through a few single-player matches, flying a ship would be just as exhilarating as blowing an enemy out of the sky. Now, I have to mention that there has been a few issues regarding the multiplayer servers, but White Moon Dreams has assured us that they are working hand in hand, day and night with Sony to give us the best experience possible. Not only did the quality of matchmaking increase immediately within the first few days after launch, but White Moon Dreams has continued to be extremely vocal within the community, which makes me see that they are truly passionate about this title. Now, before we get into the bulk of this game, I gotta let you know that I did not receive a review copy of this game, nor am I being compensated for my kind words. My copy was actually purchased by my wonderful patrons. So, if you enjoy the content and you want to help become a bigger part of this whole thing, check me out on Patreon. Now, without any further ado, I present the Starblood Arena review. Story. The cast of characters varied and unique in their own little ways, like Tic-Tac-Toe, the set of triplets, or Buck, who looks like one of the imaginary friends, or my personal favorite, Elsa, who, in honor of the great Filthy Frank, I've decked out in all Other pink. than a few I clips love from the our level wonderful of detail announcers that went Jerry into and each of Rocks. these 9 pilots. There really I just isn't wish any we had some explanation more for why our backstory. Ragtag cast is even present. Now, I've been told that they do have solid lore for all the characters, they just haven't found the right way to let it all out. Part of me really does get that twisted metal vibe when playing this game. And although there is absolutely no gore or violence of that sort, I think a few cutscenes mixed in between the circuit matches would be a wonderful addition to the game. The characters are so well done, it's really a shame we didn't get some sort of exposition from the start. Oh well, at least I know it's there. Visuals. The visuals are great, and I know you beautiful headsets out there like to know that I'm on the Pro and this game was built for it. Now don't let that worry you. I have spoken with a handful of users on the OG PS4 that have encountered a little clipping when the screen is extremely busy, and for what's going on in this game, that is spectacular. I also spoke with White Moon Dreams and they said at the end of the day, both games function exactly the same. It really just comes down to a certain level of crispness, which honestly, with how immersive this gameplay is, you're hardly even gonna notice. Audio. I love the audio in this game. You hear a blast of fire and you can sense it is coming from behind or the side of you. And the sound of blowing another pilot out of the sky is just so satisfying, you have to go in for another. Each weapon has its distinct sound, and on top of all the wonderful in-game sound effects, you have a wonderful pair of announcers chiming in with every triple kill and every death. Plus, a varied soundtrack that's extremely enjoyable, but not overwhelming enough to deter from the action in front of you. The audio in this title really does add to the immersion, rather than just sit alongside it. So, to the sound designers, bravissimo. Single player. Alright, now I bet some of you are thinking, Frank, this game sounds too good to be true. You riding again? And I promise you I really am not. This game has completely reinvigorated my love for first-person online multiplayer shooters. But that being said, if you're looking for a tried and true single-player experience, you're not going to find it here. The single player is really more of training for the multiplayer. You can play through their circuit mode, which are increasingly difficult matches, but without anything to really connect them other than an increase in difficulty, it makes it tough to really find a reason to go back through with another character. You can also play through all the standard modes that you'll find in multiplayer as well. First being Carnage, which is basically their version of free-for-all, in which 8 pilots vie for the most kills in a designated amount of time, and this is probably my favorite mode. I love Team Carnage, which is just 4v4 version of Carnage, but I personally love the speed that comes along with the free-for-all and the ability to shoot down everything that I see. Now, on top of those more standard first-person shooter modes, they also offer a variation on a ball game in which you must fly around and grab a ball, which must be then shot or flown into your designated goal. One issue I have with this and all the team-based matches is I never know exactly what team I'm on. Now this might just be my stupidity, but it's not extremely evident which goal you should be gearing towards, and on more than one occasion, I found myself going towards the wrong goal. When you have the ball, you can't fire your weapons. You can either shoot the ball, fly it through the goal, or get shot down. But you don't really die in this mode, you just have to wait on a shield cooldown. It's fun, and I can see a good team really dominating, but it's not my favorite. They also offer a wave-based 4-player co-op mode where you must shoot down enemies while guarding 3 bases from destruction. They get fun once they ramp up in difficulty, but like the last mode, you don't really die, you just have to wait on a recharge, and I don't have as much fun going for enemies as I do other pilots. That's just me. Each wave does get increasingly difficult, and when you're the last man standing and waiting for your crew shield to recharge, it can get a bit dicey on some of the later waves. Now, everything you do in single player rolls over to multiplayer, so any experience earned on your characters from those matches will continue to stack up no matter what mode you're in. This experience nets you new mods at every level and allows you to buy cosmetic items for your ships from each of the announcers. The cosmetic items are great, from disc golf ball hood ornaments to toilet paper rolls in a cockpit. Like every other aspect of this game, the choices are varied. Plus, on top of a few custom ship skins, you can also unlock different paints to use on various parts of your ship, allowing for nearly endless customization options. It's pretty great. Now the mods are much more important. These you can only unlock by playing and leveling up, and they really can help change the gameplay. Like the Shredder mod that makes your bullets deal more damage but has you run out of ammo quicker. Or an armor mod that lasts for 20 seconds but has a 40-second cooldown. I really do like that nothing makes you feel too overpowered. There is always some give and take, which helps you feel like each match is a bit more fair. You can also set up 3 loadouts regarding the mods, and upon respawn you can choose a different loadout to suit the match at hand. Multiplayer. Now the single player is great, but like I said before, it's really more training for the end game, which in this case is glorious. Now don't get me wrong, you're going to need training. Each pilot has a varied set of weapons that you must learn how to intelligently switch between to make sure you never run out of ammo and that you use your heavy at the right time. There are 3 different controller options, and I suggest you try them all before settling on a favorite. I do prefer the standard configuration, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy playing around with the others. You can also use flight sticks with this game, although I don't think they have completely optimized gameplay for them quite yet, so I wouldn't go out and buy a pair if you don't have them already. Like I said earlier, flying is nearly as satisfying as the action, and I promise you it really is. They have done a wonderful job with the control schemes. With the way I have it set up, you use the shoulder buttons to move up and down, you hold them both and turn the right stick to rotate, the left stick moves you forward, backward, and side to side, and although it's a little strange at first, after a few matches you'll be zipping around like a champ. You can also boost by pushing in the left stick, but be careful, you have to wait for it to recharge before you can use it again, and this, along with your other vital information, is available at the bottom of your HUD, which I frequently fail to notice. Aiming is done with your head, which I love. It's extremely fun following another pilot with your eyes and gives me that precision accuracy I could never get from an analog stick. Your left trigger is your rockets and your right trigger is for your first, secondary, and heavy weapons, which you switch with either the triangle or square button. The X button is for your mines, which I personally love. I know it all sounds a bit complicated, but I promise you, it becomes very intuitive once you understand what's going on. Now, what's the point of all this if the game isn't any fun? Well, by yay, this game is addicting. I can't stop playing. Even while writing this review, I want to get back to it. Now, the big question I keep getting is whether or not someone should get this game or Eve Valkyrie, and honestly, it's apples and oranges. Now, I personally have had much more fun with Starblood than I ever did with Eve, but I'm in no way saying Eve is a bad game. It's an amazing title with great developers that continue to offer free updates, but it just feels much more open and serious than Starblood Arena. Starblood is much more frenetic and far closer to a Twitch shooter than Eve is capable of becoming, and that's the kind of gameplay I prefer. Eve offers wide open spaceship battles, while Starblood offers tight, fast-paced encounters. They are both wonderfully crafted shooters, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to personal preference. Now, before I finish, I have to mention the issues regarding matchmaking and multiplayer. As of now, everything works pretty well most of the time, but I still have trouble getting into matches sometimes. I can still organize a crew, but the menu for that really needs to be revamped. There's no reason to show everybody that's offline, and it would be great if it only showed the players online who own the game. And please put it in alphabetical order. I mean, come on. Once you have a crew, you can play private matches where you have full control over power-ups, time, AI difficulty, etc. I should also mention that private matches will fill blank spaces with bots, which is kind of an issue with ranked matches. I mean, I did have one guy beat us 1v3 the other day, but not all of us can turn on beast mode like that. So I really do think they need to do something about that in the future. I have seen a vast improvement with matchmaking in the first few days since launch, and like I said, the devs have been very vocal with the community, and on top of holding events within their PS4 community, they have been issuing regular updates regarding server issues, which is something I have only started seeing lately, and I think all developers should take note of. These actions have helped to instill a certain level of trust with them, which is an extremely reassuring feeling knowing they are actually passionate enough about their project to go the extra mile. Finally, I've heard a few complaints that players can't use the single-player modes when disconnected from the internet. I question White Moon Dreams about why this was the case, and they let me know that to make everything run as smooth and buttery as possible, they had to leave some AI data on the server side. It was the only way to ensure a top-notch product amongst all consoles, which can be a pain when the internet is out, but most of the time you probably won't even notice it. Motion sickness. Now, this one could be a doozy for some of you. I personally had no issue whatsoever, but I've heard that some people couldn't take it at all. I mean, you aim with your head, so you're constantly looking in the direction you're moving, so it really shouldn't trigger the things that moving around you feeling, but like I said, I don't get sick. I know they really did work hard to make sure everything was done to get you the best experience possible, but if you're still worried, I know they're working on adding a demo to the PlayStation Store as soon as they get all these server issues worked out. Loss of immersion. I didn't face any drift issues, and because you play this game seated, I never left the playing area. So if you're worried your PSVR can't handle the immersion, don't be. This baby runs like a champ. Value. For $40, you get 9 different pilots, all of which must be leveled up individually. You get 4 offline and 4 online modes. You get a wealth of customization options to unlock, plus the ability to create private matches. Now, you're not getting any sort of story mode, or really any story for that matter as of now. But if you were to base your opinion solely on the gameplay itself, I think it much more than makes up for this semi-premium pricing. I've easily already put in 10 plus hours and a game just came out. So if it seems like the kind of thing you might be into, you're gonna love it. And if you're still on the fence after hearing this review, then just wait for the demo. But just know you're missing out on something truly wonderful in the meantime. Verdict. This game is gorgeous. It sounds spectacular and is a joy to play. It makes me wish all my VR games left me begging for another round. Now, if you're looking for a solid campaign or story, you won't find it here. But what you will find is some of the best fast-paced first-person shooter action out there on a PlayStation VR. So, if you're still wondering whether or not to grab this title, I think it's a must-have title for the PlayStation VR. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get back to the game. And that's it for this one. Have you hopped into the pilot seat or are you waiting on this review? Either way, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up. And if you don't mind, share this video for your boy. But more importantly, if you want to stay up to date on everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on.
Buddy, what are you doing here? Get off our ship!
Maybe they're the new flight coordinator we hired.
Wait, what happened to our old one?
You made him walk the airlock.
Did I?
You said he was negatively affecting our ratings with, and I quote, his stupid-ass piloting skills.
That does sound like me.
Because it was you.